Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We know that all of us dream about a peaceful life, a peaceful world. Every single one of us does. However, there is a threat that can hinder the realizations of the peace we all desire. The threat is called terrorism. Ladies and gentlemen, to begin the speech, I want you to imagine if one of those you love, your friends or perhaps your family, is becoming one of the victims of those terrorism groups. And I want you to imagine if you are a Muslim and if being accused of all the crime that you had nothing to do with. Of course, it must be very painful, right? So what actual terrorism is? The term of terrorism is not a new issue, but has reached its peak, especially since the attack on the LTC building on New York, United States, September 11, 2001, which this incident has encouraged a new understanding of terrorism. Terrorism is understood as an extraordinary crime that targets the fears of its victims that done by self-bombing and other various violent attacks which are at a scale of nationalistic and territorial, but it also related to ideological, and recently it grew into a transnational scale. So in these occasions, I want to deliver two reasons why we as a Muslims and we as a citizen of Indonesia should fight against terrorism. To start with, I'll explain that terrorism is a threat toward international security. After that, I'll mention that terrorism is spreading radicalism, and finally, I will summarize my presentations. So for the first reasons why terrorism should be eradicated is because it was considered as one of the significant threats toward international security and peaceful. The reason for my statement is because there have been many incidents of terrorism attacks in various parts of the world. So it's not only about domestic threat level, but it also grows and developed into an international scale. We can take a look from the data released by the European Counter-Terrorism Center that stated the numbers of terrorism attacks in Europe in 2014 was reported at 441 cases. These numbers also continue to grow in the following years, namely 514 cases, and in 2017 they were 580 cases. So among of these cases, the attack on Paris 2015 is the one who most attract the international attention because its large number of victims, and it was considered as one of the most terrible events in Europe since the train bombing in Madrid 2004. So there is another cases of series in the following years, like in 2017 they were Nice attack, and then the Brussels bombing and the Christmas bombing in Berlin. In 2017, some of them was Manchester attack and the Barcelona terror. Moreover, G20 stated that they condemn in strongest possible terms of all type of terrorism group and its manifestations, and they will stay united in combating terrorism as one of the results of G20 meeting in Turkey 2015. So therefore, the spreading and the significant rise of terrorism organizations will directly undermine the maintenance of international security and peaceful. So now I'd like to move on to the second reasons, which is terrorism is spreading radicalisms and brainwashing people to join them. The reasons is because they use all possible way to achieve their goals, including violence and propaganda. So in this turn, they try to spread the religions of Islam, but in totally wrong way. We can take a look from the examples of this terrorism group such as ISIS or Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, and then Al-Qaeda. This ISIS group is brainwashing its recruit to self-bombing themselves, and they call it jihad, when in actual Islam it's not really jihad. They also use propaganda to attack other countries that they consider can hinder their missions, such as United States and other Western countries. Meanwhile, in Islam itself, it's a religion of peace. Islam never justified the use of violence in spreading Islam and political ideology. So it can be said that terrorism group is not part of Islam at all. Moreover, this terrorism group is not only target the Western country, but also it target Islamic majority countries such as Indonesia, Malaysia, and so on and so forth in the aim to recruit people by manipulating them. Therefore, a terrorism group would be very dangerous if they ever succeed entering a country, because they can manipulate people to fall into radicalisms and it causing misconceptions of Islam. In conclusions, we must combating terrorism because it was hinder the realizations of world peace and security. It also can lead people to fall into radicalisms and it causing bad image toward Islam, which led to the phenomenon we know as Islamophobia. Therefore, we must stand together, cooperating and increasing our solidarity in combating terrorism. On the other hand, if we do nothing in responding to terrorism, are you ready to be their next target? Thank you for the attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.